What is killing your auditions? Let's go over here. One of the first things, overacting, definitely one of those killers in voiceover. I wouldn't say a silent killer because overacting is pretty in your face. And what does that look like? Overacting looks like pushing too hard. Pushing too hard, that comes across like this. So this first line is, you ought to get to know refed because we're the ones driving change in our food system. So the way you should be doing this is just saying this like as if you're talking to a friend, just talking to somebody right in front of you, like they're a foot away from you. You want to say it like, you ought to get to know refed because we're the ones driving change in our food system. Just like that, simple like that, just talking like yourself. But the tendency that most people do, especially when they start doing voiceover, is to want to perform it and shout it like, you ought to get to know refed because we're the ones driving change in our food system. It's too much. It's too much. That will most of the time will get you disqualified right out of the gate. Also, like I mentioned, putting on a voiceover voice, aka announcer read, when not asked for it. The reason that I put this here is because sometimes they want that. Announcer reads aren't dead, but most of the time they're going to be asking for that nice conversational read. And another one that I also put in overacting is going too fast. And what does going too fast sound like? Oftentimes when people start doing voiceover, they just rip it out, especially the first couple lines, and then they kind of relax after the nerves drop. They'll be like, you ought to get to know refed because we're the ones driving change in our food system. Way too fast. People are like, what the hell did I just hear? So slow it down. Always slow it down. The vast majority of people go way too fast. Another silent killer, flat delivery, underacting. So on the opposite of overacting, we have doing way too loud, just nothing. You're flat, you're dead. You might as well just be in a grave. People will read a voiceover read and just read it like they're reading it. You want to have energy shifts. So how many times, since I've been talking and I don't have a script, I'm just going off the top of my head. How many times have I changed the speed I'm talking in? Have I slowed down? Have I emphasized words to make a point? Use silences to emphasize things? All energy shifts. That's what we do. You do it too when you have a conversation, unless you truly do have no personality and you talk flat. In that case, get into an improv class. It's going to help you out. I get it. Monotone read. Again, with the same kind of deal as the energy shifts, just monotone read. What does that sound like? Let's go back to this example. You ought to get to know refed because we're the ones driving change in our food system. Imagine if everyone in the world bought 3 baskets of groceries, dropped one on the ground, and left it there to rot. It's ridiculous. But that's essentially what's happening when 1/3 of all food is never eaten. It's just nothing there, right? Zero connection. This happens when people forget that there's somebody listening to their voiceover. Don't think there's going to be hundreds of people listening to it. Think there's going to be one. And a cliche in voiceover, they always say, sound like you're talking to your best friend. And it works. Here's another one. This one's big. This is actually on voices.com, Voice123, they say this is one of the top killers of auditions. This what usually gets them tossed is bad studio editing. Bad studio. What's bad studio and bad editing? So a bad studio in generally is, noisy audio. Another one, this one's, I think, probably just as deadly as having a shit studio, was having a good studio, but then putting way too much processing on it. This one is not too many people know. From coaching as many people I have now, I've noticed when I do one-on-ones with them, looking how they're labeling their files and they're not putting their name. When you're doing pay-to-play sites, agents are different. They'll give you the exact labeling instructions and you better follow them. When you're doing pay-to-play sites, people sometimes just name the file the name of the project. If you do that and they like what they hear and they look at the file and they don't have your profile in front of them because they can download your MP3s, they have no idea who you are and how to contact you. So the correct labeling, the way I like to say is the correct way, the way I do it, seems to work for me. I put my name first. So Jesse, capital J, Carol, capital C, the space in between, and an underscore connecting it to either the job number or the project name. The project's name, like looking for a male VO for 30-second, I just put the project number. Or I will see what the end client is in the script and I will type that in. Just keep it real simple, but you want to put your name first.